Don't you think GPU fans are just too small? No? Well, me neither, but my sister's RX 470 recently had a fan fail and was overheating to the point where nothing was playable, so I had to try a few things to fix that. The first thing I did was look for defective cards on eBay and similar websites to find a replacement fan, but the prices were too high for what I wanted to do. I could have bought similar fans, but I didn't think of it at the time. The next thing I did was take apart a dead GTX 560 Ti and steal its fans. Surprisingly, they fit perfectly. I put the card back together and ran Furmark. Only one fan spun. No matter what I did, I couldn't get the second one to work. At this point I decided to try something else. The original fan had a connector for the second one. So I cut off one of the fans of the 560 and connected it that way, and it worked. But I had a new issue. The cable was too long. I tried many things to make it fit, until I somehow pulled on the main PWM cable. I tested the card and after a few seconds, a burnt electronic smell emerged. I quickly shut the power and thought it was good to buy a new card. Testing without cooling, however, the card ended up being fine, but I had no fans anymore. So here comes the solution. Case fans. I had seen mods like this being done to various GPUs, but I didn't want to have worse cooling than the original cooler. But at this point, I didn't have many solutions. So I ordered two Be Quiet PWM fans and a strange adapter and zip-tied them to the card. I connected them using this adapter I bought and both fans spun until load was applied. Removing the custom fan curve I had in place fixed this, but then both fans were running at 500 RPM, a quarter of what they are capable of. I then tried connecting one of the fans directly to the motherboard and one to the card, and it works. Both fans are spinning, although the one on the card is still a fair bit slower than it should be, at about 1000 RPM instead of 2000. Using this setup, the temperatures are the same, if not slightly better than the original cooler, but the next thing I'll do is buy a PWM splitter and have both fans on the motherboard, so both can run at 2000 RPM. To get a little more in depth with the temperatures, the card runs at about 73 to 75 degrees on Furmark with no throttling and a power limit of plus 12, versus the original cooler that had trouble at around the same temperatures and the default power limit, not really holding the stock locks in game, while this new fan setup is able to hold them perfectly fine. So was it worth it? Yeah, I'd say so. There are still improvements possible by connecting both fans to the motherboard, but it already performs better than expected. And I guess trying to connect the fans to the card was a mistake, especially since you can link the fans to the GPU using fan control. But if you have failing fans, I guess this is the way to go.